Hello, new and returning Stinkies. I hope you guys are doing great today. If you're new, hello, I'm Kruzadar. I'm a variety creator here on YouTube. And today you are tuning into some relationship advice that I'm going to give because, well, specifically, I should say, over how to get your girlfriend or your partner, say it's your boyfriend too, into video games because, oh my goodness, I feel like this is constantly a thing that I'm seeing where it's like, people are like, oh, I wish my girlfriend or my boyfriend would get into video games, like constantly on TikTok. I'm like, it's really not that hard. Like straight up, really not that hard to get your partner into video games. The biggest thing is how you are going about it.
Do you suffer from a lack of a father figure?
So just kind of some backstory. I've always been into video games, my husband didn't get into video games until he was actually like later, a little bit older and stuff like that. But I watched my dad play Asheron's Call. I watched him play freaking Doom, Quake. Like that was my first game. Well, I don't know if it was my first game, but my first game I got heavy into with like playing video games at the age of like 4 was Quake 3 Team Arena with my dad. So I have some advice for you guys. So the number one thing, obviously sub if you want to see more stuff like this, let me know your thoughts down below, all that good stuff. But yeah, no, the biggest mess up that a lot of people tend to do is you throw people into your niche and into the deep end with gaming. Think about like most of us that are into video games, I feel like a lot of us got into it because at like a younger age, so it was a little bit easier for us to pick up on things like that. Throwing someone into the deep end with video games with stuff that they haven't done before, that's really challenging as a first time game, it's not always the way to go about it. Like, for example, I would say Call of Duty and stuff's a little easier compared to some games, but I wouldn't say it's really, like, multiplayer games are not always a good go-to unless they're games, in my opinion, like, quote-unquote, as I guess what people call it nowadays, is like friend slop, right? So any friend multiplayer type games. And really the other thing you need to do too is keep in mind, like, your partner is not you, right? Your partner is your partner, so they might have different interests. And so what you should do is try to find games based around what your partner's interests are and kind of find, do some research on like what they like. Say they're really into animals, like pick some animal games, start them off with some animal games. Maybe they're into dinosaurs, show them Jurassic World or, things like that. I know a lot of girls, myself included, has really enjoyed Sims. Sims is a great starter game. But I mean, dude, throw them into something like Stray. Do you know how cute Stray is? Like, I can't explain enough how like fantastic of a starter game that I think this is. Sorry, I don't have like a fantastic overlay for this right now because my shit's on screen here. But no, let me show you Stray, dude. You play as a fucking cat and the story is fantastic in here, okay? And the humor's really funny. Like, Stray is so good. It's so good. And the graphics are awesome. And there's fun puzzle mechanics still to it. Yeah, like, throw homie into some Stray. Stardew Valley is also a really good game to start with. Like, say they just like cute, cozy games. You throw them into Stardew Valley. This is Stardew Valley, And by all means, if your partner wants to jump into the deep end, and you really want to get them into that, you can do it, But I really don't advise that most of the time. Stardew Valley's great, little farming sim game. Then there's infinite different games that you can kind of do. Oh my God, I'm on the wrong overlay. There's infinite different types of games that you can do, but throwing somebody into the deep end into something like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Baldur's Gate 3, Path of Exile, like those are not beginner friendly games. And most of the time what I see a lot of people do is they're like, oh, I really want my partner to really dive into like Marvel Rivals and they've never played video games before. And they're like, oh, she hates it. Okay. So one, it's probably, that's a competitive game. Bringing your partner in for their first game that they're playing into a competitive game is just, that's not going to go well most of the time because there's a lot of energy where again, it's competitive. People are trying to compete with one another. So I really recommend staying away from the competitive game aspect. Focus on like a group game or a single player game that your partner can really get into. The other part, speaking of competitive, is a lot of the times how you go about it. Oh my goodness, this drove me nuts. For example, this is no shade to my sister, but we've tried to get my mom into video games before. And this was something I noticed was she did not go about it well. My mom, kept her away from trying video games when she was a little bit of interested into it. And she essentially she got annoyed at my mom for not picking up the mechanics fast like she wanted to for the game we were trying to show her. And I'm like, dude, stop that. Like, this is not making this a good experience for mom, right? So don't, if you go in and you're like, oh my God, you're hitting the controls wrong. Oh my God, you're using the controls wrong. You're playing it wrong. No, you need to play it like this. Like, don't do that. And I know it's not just a my sister thing that did that. It's people do that in general to their partner. Dude, it's potentially their first time touching a controller or touching a mouse and keyboard that's not a fucking Google Chrome laptop, shit like that, like using it outside of work. You are going to overwhelm them and you're going to make them absolutely hate playing video games if you do that. Like, think about that. No one wants to feel that way and told they're doing it wrong all the time. Those of you ever had parents that did that shit to you all the time, told you you're wrong and this and this and this, and you weren't good enough for everything, like, you're gonna feel like shit. I don't know if I just knocked something off my desk or if Taz knocked something down upstairs. I don't know what just happened. But yeah, don't do that to your partner. You need to, a lot of y'all that want your partners to get into this, it's either you're constantly giving the wrong games or you're not good teaching and you need some self-reflection. You gotta go about it like you're teaching a kid. I know that sounds so stupid. But it's potentially their first time touching video games. And if someone, I wouldn't even say, honestly, Baldur's Gate 3 is really a horrible game for someone to get into for their first time. It's definitely going to be a bit overwhelming, but you can go at your own pace with that game because it is turn-based. So, there's stuff like that. Mario Party, Peak, honestly, that's a great recent game example. Peak is such a good, in my opinion, a fantastic way to introduce people to video games or even just mouse and keyboard in general. It's a little time sensitive, but it's not competitive. It's fun. You can enjoy the goofy things that happen. Like, yeah, Peak would be a really good newer game to get somebody into video games. So just some self-reflection, some food for thought. Think about the games that they would enjoy. Think about something that, you're not going to be super pressuring with. And the other thing you have to think about too is if your partner gets into video games, how many consoles you got? If they end up really liking it, or computers and stuff like that, are you ready to share video game time with your partner? Are you ready to help them get something? Because that's another thing I see people sometimes. I'll see them get their partners and they're just like, oh no, I don't. She's like wanting to play it. It's like, okay, you introduce this, like, and that's the other thing you have to think about too, because if you don't and you get kind of mad or jealous about that, then they might like feel like, oh, okay, they don't actually like want me to play with them or play games, or maybe they didn't really want to encourage this hobby. So I'm not saying you should let them like take over or completely hijack your stuff, but set time with your partner to let them enjoy it if they do like it. Like, encourage them like, yeah, I want to watch them play their single player game and enjoy it. Like, straight up. That's like, I know it's kind of like streaming is kind of like that in a way, because people are sitting there watching and hanging out with you. But before streaming was a thing, that was really fun, just to hang out with your buds. If someone wanted to play a single player game, or even just doing couch co-op. Oh my God, other couch co-op games, dude. Why am I like not thinking about couch co-op games? You could do Mario Party, you could do Lego Party, you could freaking play It Takes Two is a really good game, and that's a couples game already in general. Split Fiction is fantastic. I feel like Split Fiction people enjoy more if you've played a bunch of different video game types though, because like I had a deeper appreciation for it because I knew like a lot of the games that it was referencing or styles that it was kind of, I felt like that was more like a gamer appreciation game, even though it is co-op. But It Takes Two would be a fantastic game with getting your partner into, especially if you haven't played it. Those of you that, because it is a co-op game, right? So how many of you that haven't played it? There's another game by them before It Takes Two came out. It was a prisoner game. I literally have a video on it on the channel playing it. Oh my God, it's two guys breaking out of prison. And I can't think of what the damn name is. I'm so sorry. I can't think of it. Comment it down below. It's a really good game, but you could even start with that one. I don't know if it's on console though. I'm gonna look it up real quick because this is gonna bother the ever living shit out of me. Okay, it is called A Way Out. A Way Out is really good. So if you've never played that, I do really recommend it. It Takes Two. That's the one that got Game of the year that it came out in 2021. Fantastic. Again, really good couples game. I highly recommend it. It's even fun with friends. And I just want to say too, this can apply to friends if you want to get friends into video games as well. It doesn't just have to be your partner, but I just see so many people constantly complaining online like, I wish my girlfriend was into video games, or I wish, I could get a partner in video games. It's like, you can literally introduce them to it. It's just, you need to make it a pleasant experience. I don't know. And also the other thing to think about is, if you don't have a girlfriend or boyfriend, I do see this like very common male mentality thing of like, there's no gamer girls. So fun fact, almost half now of the gaming population is women. I know that sounds insane, but that is the stats. And I know it doesn't feel that way. The reason it doesn't feel that way is because a lot of women don't talk in online games. So I really recommend keeping that in mind. A lot of us are afraid to, because think about all the things gamer guys immediately spout. It's literally 50-50. It's either they're gonna be chill or he's gonna be really fucking weird, and really fucking weird can go two different directions. So it's like, if you are looking for a partner and you're like, oh, you wish you had a gamer partner, I promise you there's so many more women out there gaming than you realize. It's just, you gotta have the personality to back it up. And I don't mean that in like content creator sense. I mean that in the sense of like not being a piece of shit, but also not being a simp. And I mean that in like genuine simp shit, because genuine simp guys are fucking weird. Like, you don't want to go down that rabbit hole. You really don't. So that said, reflect on the games that you're playing if you're trying to get your partner into it. If you're looking for someone, the girls are out there that are playing games, but like don't be off put or like pigeonhole yourself, because you can teach people to like video games. There's infinite. It's just like trying to teach somebody to read a book or get into a book series or a manga or a TV show. There's infinite things out there to get people into that stuff. It's just, you really figure out what genre they really like, baby them, support, encourage their new hobby development, damn it. Encourage it. Don't be nitpicking backseat gaming with it when they're playing that shit. Because like, dude, think about that when you're even driving or when you're playing. I mean, it's just, I can complain about it a little bit easier because I'm a streamer and people do it all the time. Especially when it's like, oh my God, give me a second to figure out the puzzle. If I don't figure it out right away, like, don't fucking tell me how to fix it unless I ask, sort of, well, that sort of thing like that. So like, backseat gaming's the same as backseat driving. Don't, you would hate if everyone's had a backseat driver. I really hope most of you have experienced that. Don't pull that stuff with someone gaming. That's what a backseat gamer is. So it's just same fucking concept. But yeah, no, I'm tired of seeing people complain. You really can. I feel like people get intimidated by women as their partners a lot of the time too. Because gaming, even though video games were, fun fact, even the computer, early on, women helped with development that and actually spearheaded a lot of that shit. It's not talked about. And so there's a big misconception that women just were not involved with gaming from the get-go. And that's not the case at all. Women were involved from the get-go. What happened was, after video games and stuff came out, they had to choose who to market to. And they figured it would be easier to just market it to boys. So they marketed gaming to boys when the Atari and all that stuff was coming out. It didn't mean that women weren't playing the games, but yeah, it did have a huge male population for a while because it was only marketed towards boys. So just some stuff some food for thought and to like, hey, kind of keep in mind with all that. It's not like women aren't interested or shit like that. I promise you, women are a lot more open to trying things like that. It's just how this kind of goes like for everything. It's how you portray wanting your partner to do it. Like, if you're only trying to get your partner to do it because you think it's going to be hot, because that's like a weird thing that guys do with like gamer girls, she's probably going to be grossed out and have zero interest. If you want to do it because you like she's going to sniff that out. I guess is what kind of I'm getting at. So if you want her to learn to play video games, make sure you go into it with good intent. You know, oh, I really like genuinely want her to understand like a hobby and stuff that you guys are into, you know, and she's, I will say, here's another part where people kind of mess up sometimes. If you put all your time into video games and not helping out around the house, because that's a thing that some people do with their partners. I'm not saying my partner does that. I see it a lot on social media and I hear people complain about it. If you're that type of person, before you even ask your partner, that prioritizes gaming always above everything else, like actual, like keeping the house clean, helping with house shit around the house or the yard, you know, or with the family, your partner is going to rightfully have a negative connotation with video games. So if you want your partner to be interested in video games and they see that's how you operate, they're going to be off put by video games. That's definitely why there's a stigma with people that play video games, are partially the reason. So maybe also consider that before you get your, you know, get super excited and jazzed about getting your partner into playing video games and stuff with you. So just, yeah, because like women are, it's just kind of, it's even like when you do, God, I'm gonna go a little mature talk here. Even when you go to do other adult activities, you know, there's foreplay that has to go into it, because women are a lot more mental versus men are a lot more physical. So if you don't make it a mentally like good experience, the physical is going to be really hard to happen, right? So that goes towards kind of everything, right? You want your wife or your girlfriend to sit down and enjoy playing video games with you, but you've ignored doing the dishes or helping with laundry or helping with the kids, and she's had to ask you 50 times this week to help out with stuff. She's probably not going to be interested in playing video games with you because she's already got a negative connotation with that. So another thing to kind of keep in mind, if make it a good thing, you know. I would say you don't have to wait for that stuff to be done, but if you're a partner, you know, it's a two-way street, right? So it does take, you know, both working at it. So maybe consider you don't have to do that, but you're definitely going to get a lot more bonus points, and she's going to be way more interested in potentially playing video games with you if you do all that. The real life actually give a shit. I hate to say that because just some people get way too into video games. I love video games. I do. I play the shit out of them. I mean, it's what I do for a living. It's why, like, one of the main things we upload on this channel, but I still get stuff done. I still get stuff done. I still take care of my dogs. We still take care of shit around the house. My husband and I split the work around the house, you know, things like that. So just some things to keep in mind. Like, you shouldn't be sitting there all day playing unless, like, you know, you're relaxing and you've got other shit done. Like, really, that is a thing. Like, it's the same. You just, like, you know, your video game time when you should be playing, you know, if you wouldn't watch TV during that time. I mean, it is. That video games are a replacement for that. It's a whole other fucking thing. I hate video game stigma and shit like that. Especially with the older generation, with what they think and bullshit. But yeah, yep. That's my little piece. That's my little rant for today. Is I promise you, you can get a partner that's into video games, or you can get your partner interested, or find a partner that's into video games. It's just, it's how you go about it. How you go about it is like super key. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this little video. Little 18-minute rant, just kind of sitting here and yapping. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. I'd love to hear more shit down below if there's any other specific stuff you guys want me to cover. Yeah, let me know. I appreciate y'all. Have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see y'all in the next video.